Hello, it's back live at 5 with the golf nutters. There's two of them in here already. Oh, sorry, no, they're just nutters.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably the longest three of us have been quiet together ever.
100%.
That was such a delay in going on there. So how are you both? You well?
Very good, thank you.
Good. I hope everybody who's joining, you're well and staying safe. If you want to jump on. If you want to fire some questions, put them in the comments or in the live chat, and we'll go from there. Evening, Jeff. Evening, Tom. And evening, happy me, Paul. You don't know which Paul's turning up to the minute, do you?
Friday night, mate.
Rodney.
Friday night.
Here he is. It's Lee. I like that. So I've got a couple of... Hiya, Craig. You okay? Got a couple of questions or topics to talk about. They're both relevant, really. And I've thrown another one in there as well. So let's start with this one. Let's get your opinions, because I know our golf clubs are of a certain age. So with all these, well, not all of them, but there's two brands bought out new golf clubs. We've got the Ping 425. We've also now seen the Callaway Epic.
And the Sim 2.
And the Sim 2, we've seen it, haven't we? Yeah. Now,
and the Cobra.
I haven't seen the Cobra yet.
Pictures a few weeks ago. Can't remember what it's called.
Right. So we've only seen the two that, we've only seen the Sim pictures, but we've seen the Callaway and we've seen the Ping being tested on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make that much difference to its predecessor? That's the question I want to ask. And I'll tell you for the reason to ask it, because me and you've got the M5.
Yes.
Kent's got the Epic.
Yes.
Well, Kent has been superseded several times now.
Yeah, well, they've just re-released another Epic, haven't they?
Yeah. Ours has been superseded a few times.
Twice.
And I know that using the Sim against the Callaway and the M5 when I was testing them to hit them, the M5 produced better, but it's an older club. So I want to know what your thoughts are. What's your guys' thoughts on it all?
That's it. Cobra Rad Speed. That's the name.
That's it. Cobra Rad Speed. Yes. No, you're absolutely right. I do apologise about that one.
Yeah, Joe 90's in the room.
Oh!
Cross between Joe 90 and Ron Atkinson.
Straight in.
Bastard.
So yeah.
I don't think new technology, or it depends how old your driver is. For the drivers we've got, they're at what? No less than 5 years old.
No.
There's not enough change. There hasn't been enough change. I would arguably say the generation before, so the M3 to now, I don't think there's any. Is that what you're using, Tom?
That's me.
Yeah, see, I had the M3 as well and swapped it. But I don't think there's any difference. I don't think from the M3 to the M5 to the Sim 2, I don't think there's any. Well, the M6 even. I don't think there's any difference.
It's amazing how many people were using the M2 and still talk about the M2 as one of TaylorMade's best drivers.
That thing's timeless.
The first M2, because they bought two out, didn't they? The second one was honking.
And look at the difference there. Look at the time frame between them.
So was it 2016 that the M2 came out?
It was
the first one, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. So what's that?
It was further away than that. It was longer than that.
Let's have a look.
Sure it was.
Yeah,
It was not 2017 was the second edition, which, like you said, Lee, was pants.
Seems longer ago. It's 4 years. It's not long, is it? What are they on now?
2016 was released on the 2016.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Good evening, Oggy, Paul, Kareem. So good evening, all. Thank you for joining us.
Big Oggy in you. Big Oggy's not been in one, has he?
No, he's not been on a live.
Tempted to do one. Oh, here we go. We've got a user of the M2 coming in. So it'd be interesting because he does product reviews as well to get his kind of thing on it. If he can get his audio
like
working.
Stuart Carter Smith's younger brother.
He's a good golfer, though, isn't he? so it helps.
So
No,
Stuart can't
Hello.
his American cousin.
No gang signs.
So yeah, so we've got Kent. You've had the Epic for a while. The Epic's an older model. What do you think of that in comparison to the newer stuff?
I'll stick with that until they can improve it for me.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I had a Launcher 400. And with blue shafting, that fucker would not spin.
Yeah.
I were at like 1900, 2000.
What blue shaft you got with Pro? It was not the Pro Force blue, was it?
No, that's not a fucking blue, is it? That's a.
Oh, 40.
Ooh.
The Pro Force blue. They do a blue Pro Force. Sorry, Pro.
You're on
it's
about the
not-
75.
Pro
aren't you?
launch.
It's not a real blue. There was only one Grafalloy blue, and that came in blue.
Yeah,
But Pro launches were pants, both red and blue.
yeah.
And then when they re-released it in the white, that were no good either. They lost all control of it.
Really.
So I've got 3 blues, 2 in reserve just in case.
In case you have a little moment.
Yeah. It's more of a
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah.
So do any of these new things tempt you to even go and have a go with them? Or is it just a case of, I'm happy with what I've got, I'll stick to what I know?
No, I'll have a go with Ian. You know what he's like for changes.
I think
I've been quite public that I'm going to test at least 4 drivers this year.
Yeah.
I did it last year.
I was based on though, because I don't know about you boys, but I don't think do you find do you find you hit one thing further than another, or is it based purely on looks and feel?
No, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. For me, a lot of it comes down to the dispersion. If I'm spraying one more than the other, so I will go for the tighter dispersion. And that's my thing at the minute.
Not based on setup? Is that not based on setup?
You put them all in
How can
neutral.
an out-to-in swing be based on setup?
Well, no, but but if you set up a driver, if you could hit 10 drivers with exactly the same swing out to in,
Yeah.
and
It's
they're probably all going
it's
to
still going to be tight, though, isn't it? I mean, you've got to factor in the shafts and things like that as well.
Yep.
You know what I was thinking of doing?
It's still, go on, Stu.
I'm not sure anybody else necessarily has done it. Perhaps they have, but I feel like, when a sort of whoever, one of the guys gets these pre-releases and they hit the balls, I feel like we want to see consistent. If everybody's going for numbers so much, you want exactly the same numbers sprayed around the club face, And I was saying to my guy at Celtic, who I'll be doing when we're all back in, I'll be doing testing down there. And I was saying that what I actually want is exactly the same numbers, the same angles, the same delivery. And I want it out the toe, the heel, the middle, and all areas of the shaft, and then compare it rather than someone going, oh, hit that quite well. Yeah, it's gone 5 yards further. We've got the technology these days to get, I don't know, let's just say 95 miles an hour clubhead speed. Let's just say neutral, kind of deliveries, and let's get it out of the range of the face and do it with the same shaft with the other driver, because then it is a direct comparison, isn't it? Because then we can sort of say, well, if we like it, it's the sound and the shape, like, Ferg said, which I believe in. But it would be nice to know that all of them hit with effectively a robot what they would do,
Yeah, because that's what they all claim, don't they? They all complain consistent numbers across the face. So if you're hitting out of the toe, you're expecting to get the same numbers out the middle. We all know that's never going to be the case, but that's what they're claiming.
But to be honest, it would highlight if one is particularly good from like high toe or from heel, then players that have that shot preference or, that's in their swing, you would edge towards that, wouldn't you? Rather than, I need a bit more spin because I'm not very good, blah, blah, blah,
If you hit, if you hit a high toe
Good evening.
with a twist face
yeah,
and an open path, don't get one.
But I'll go back to what I was meaning, Fergs. If I'm shanking it, mate, I want them shanks to be in a real tight-knitted dispersion.
Yeah, when I said setup, I meant setup of the driver. I mean, if you need it half a degree upright, if you need it closed a degree, I meant that by setup. If you have a driver without weight, set up 4 of them lined up against a wall with you half a degree upright, half a degree closed, or you know, there's much of a muchness there, isn't there? But if you look down at one, I prefer the look of that, and I prefer the feel of this one.
Yeah, as Neil Bings rightly pointed out, I only changed my driver because I didn't like the sound of it.
The Maverick was the best sounding driver I've ever tried.
Oh,
I loved it.
I think sound is massive. I think
Yeah,
they've
it is.
proved that if you plug your ears and you hit 3 or 4 different drivers, it's very hard to tell any difference. It's
Same
a
with
lot more than you imagine. You know, even feel. You know.
I think that's where ping fall down massively because everyone's raving about the 425, but the sound's awful.
Yes,
that
right,
sounds
right,
dog
tingy.
rough.
It's a real high ting from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's all about a dull crack now.
That's the one
think
thing I've
I
never
think
been
you'll
bothered
get-
about is sound.
Really?
No, I've hit several different drivers. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them have always been tailor-made, but whether it's dead, high ting, it's never affected me. I'm more concerned about having a club that I feel when I pull out the bag, I'm going to find the fairway.
Tom, I think when I say sound, I think it's absolutely related to feel because if you, they kind of bat for both sides, bat for the same team. It's like if you get a pure one with a good sound, 99% of the time you've got a good feel as well. I think if you've got a good feeling driver, you're going to get good noise off it as well.
Folks, if you
That's
tried
fine.
hitting drivers with headphones on, you know, so you're listening to
No,
music. or something,
I can't play golf with headphones in.
It's weird. I'm telling you, it's so weird. You know, you can be hitting any club. It's so strange.
Yeah, can't do
It's amazing how connective the feel and our ears are to it. You should try it.
100%.
It's
And that's
totally
what I
weird.
meant by feel and sound are the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I can almost when I tried with earphones in, I honestly sometimes I couldn't tell you if I've milled it or not.
It's weird, totally weird, especially with the clubs of today. I mean, if you're dealing with a right pure blade, you know, you'd feel it if you hit one right at the bottom, you know. But
mine.
yeah, on a
Yeah.
nice cold day, slightly wet hands, catching out the bottom groove, you know it. But all the other ones, all over the face, you know, you just don't know where it's going.
First and foremost, good evening, Big Oggy. How are you?
Hey, John.
He's frozen.
Is he froze?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he's
Oh,
not.
he's back again. He's back.
Back. Can he hear us? That's the question.
Well, if you can hear me.
Yeah,
can
we
now.
hear you now.
If you
Yeah.
can hear.
How's John?
I'm always back.
Lee, I suppose it's
Yes,
the
I
first
can.
time a proper YouTuber on you now. John's on you, isn't it?
There you go,
It's a
mate.
bit bright. Sorry, I'll adjust the lighting.
Fine, mate. It's not an issue.
It's the first time we've had a proper YouTube talk on you now. John's on you, isn't it? Controversial.
Well, that's not like you to be controversial. I was just about to ask you when you're thinking about dumping the fragrances and picking up golf again.
He
It's
does a
nice to have somebody on here who's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fergus is
That
waiting
mean
for
we
Tom
need-
Blake
we
to
need to
retire and
mute
take over
Fergus?
from him.
I don't get that geezer.
No.
Who?
Tom Blake.
He just wants to be offensive.
I noticed you have a bit of banter with him, Fergs.
Well, I commented on his vlog where he mentioned the Rick Shields thing the other day. I've never commented. Oh, yeah, that's a lie. I've called him several names. But I commented that I think reaction videos, there's a place for them. Every other genre of eBay have got reaction videos.
eBay, do you mean YouTube?
Sorry,
Well, they're
YouTube.
selling them for a penny.
videos. And I think there's a place for it with golf. The problem that he's got is he only does one or two. Like, go and react. I said to him, go and react to some of the smaller channels. I said the problem I've got with you is you're riding off the success of others. And to prove me wrong, go and react to Lee's or Graham's or anybody that still does it. Don't just react to 2 or 3 YouTubers.
Don't you throw me under the bus.
You're right under there already, mate.
I tell you.
Proper YouTuber.
Listen, I'm a big lad, but I don't want to be a speed hump.
What about Whittaker?
Ah, yeah, throw him under. It's fine.
That's where Paul Jackson does all right, because at least he does it and he goes at everyone and it's playful as well.
But it is
Yeah.
jovial with Paul, though, isn't it? There's no malice behind
There's
it.
banter between them. That's all it is.
Do you think it would be the same if he had 10,000 subscribers and he was doing it?
All day long.
Yeah, I don't think
Paul is Paul, and you'll never change that.
there's no malice behind anything that he does.
I think, yeah, I don't think he sort of cares enough about how many followers he's got for it to make any difference. You know, I think when people, it really shows the desperation of some, you know, when they're really going for lots of subs, you know, you can see it in their tweets, in their content. And, you know, I think if you're a bit more relaxed, like Paul, he's not going to care, is he? I mean, he wouldn't do any, if someone said, you're going to get 50,000 subs, he'd probably say, so what? I can't be bothered,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll still be doing me joke
I'd have a
videos.
bet against you on it.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
You want to have a bet on that, Stu?
You'd have to find some longer songs to start singing over if he's got more subs that he's having to cater into it.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody, full version.
Yeah, the uncut version.
No, John's on you. John, what did you think of Jacko's video when he was doing that review painting for what's his name?
James Robinson.
James Robinson.
Well, gone quiet with that.
Can you hear us?
Got a delay
I
going
thought
on
it was
down
really
there.
good.
it's delayed.
I would like to sign it myself, actually.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was funny as.
He's a funny guy. That'll bring me into a topic in a little while. Just kind of we'll finish off the driver gate. A few people in the comments. It's Stephen Murther. He's saying he was talking to me about it. He's still using his Ping G30. Paul Farnsworth, the G425 Max interests him. He was fit for the G400, which outperformed everything else. And he didn't buy it because he won a Cobra Speed Zone. So, yeah, things like that. But getting into YouTube and people like Paul Jackson, are people really struggling on watching YouTube at golf in particular at the moment because we can't get out there and we can't play? So does anybody just, I'm not really watching it other than the people I know, or?
Well, I saw an interesting one the other day. I can't remember who said it. It might have been Paul. Oh, no, it's actually James Robinson who did it. He was saying that the AdSense is the lowest of the year. It generally is in January, which I wouldn't know either way. So a lot of content creators do have time off at this time of year because they're not getting paid so much for each video and what they're doing on top of lockdown, you know. So, yeah, I find it a bit of a struggle to watch any at the moment because there's, like you've said, not much out there. But at the same time, I would watch anything really. So, I mean, anything that's on, I'll give it a watch. So it's not a case of because I don't want to. It's just because there's not a lot of good stuff going on, which is understandable, isn't it?
What about you, Ian?
Are you watching X Apps?
Yeah, I think everybody's doing the same just now, and it's getting on. I'm not saying I'm bored with it. It's just you're watching it for the sake of watching it. I don't know if you agree, guys.
Yeah,
I like what G-Mac is doing with a bit of with his cars and stuff, and Lee with his dad, and the pods as well. But I think when it comes to the golf part of it, everybody's doing the same stuff. What do you think?
I agree. I think we are all fishing from the same pond, and everything is very similar to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I think the thumbnails as well. It doesn't drag you in, does it? When someone's in their kitchen, you just think, I know where this is going, you know. And so it makes it very difficult. But you know, something's better than nothing, I suppose, isn't it?
I think it's any different to any other genre, though. If you do tech reviews, there's a million people doing tech reviews. If you do cooking, there's a million people cooking. If you do golf, there's a million people doing golf. You buy into personality, I think.
I was just about to say that.
It's the person that you're watching that you like, whether you want to watch them any further than that. So
that's what I struggle.
What, because you don't like?
You just don't like anyone.
Yeah.
I think it's slightly different with tech videos though, because especially this time of year, or let's just say into lockdown, like their content is not changing so drastically as what golf content is, you know, because we're literally not able to get on golf courses and play any live golf, whereas a tech reviewer can still get the latest camera and say this is what it does, you know. And so I think I totally agree, it's all personality based without a doubt, but I think that our industry has taken a big hit because we just can't do what the whole channels are built on, you know.
You say it's personality based. I'm going to contradict myself slightly.
That's,
Not like
that's
you.
unusual.
I don't think it is wholly personality based. I think from a group of friends, perhaps, but what you tell me, and this is, I'm just pulling out of the area. Any of these guys are well over 100,000, but let's just say Peter Finch, for argument's sake. You tell me he's got a better personality than Paul Jackson or Lee or Graham or you?
Yeah, but you know it's exposure, isn't it? It's it's not about the best singers in the world make number one. It's just that they get the exposure to, we get brainwashed into liking it because we've heard it a billion times on the radio. I think it's the same thing with YouTube, isn't it? When like 10 million people get subjected to a recommended video, before you know it, you end up watching those guys and don't really dig around that much. You'll sort of maybe watch other little recommended ones, but those other little recommended ones are the next wave of 80,000 and 70,000 people, So, there's going to be some gems out there that we don't know that are fantastic channels, but you just can't
not in your
find
recommended,
them.
yeah.
I was watching one of Liam's videos the other day, and straight after Liam's recommended was Peter Finch. And then after Peter Finch was James Robinson. So you're getting fed the different creators.
And what I found on the smaller channels, it's always Rick Shield that I see recommended.
Like
So
try.
if I'm watching yours, Lee, for
Yeah.
example, it's Rick Shields that's recommended.
But the thing is, we're dealing with we're not dealing with people that are watching video content and thinking this is really good. I'm going to recommend it. We're talking about the algorithm, and that algorithm is all it's picking up on is this guy obviously makes pretty good videos, and so this is the content they're following it, and so you sort of understand it. So you could never get somebody saying, "Well, this guy's only got one video out, but it's really good. I'm going to send it out to everybody." It's unfortunately the nature of that beast, isn't it?
I think that tricks the video as well. So even if you're a small channel and got no subscribers, if you're putting out 3 videos a week, every week regularly, that'll bump you up as well.
You'll get picked up at some point.
Yeah, it's consistency. Yeah, it's throwing the net out, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you're putting regular videos out at a consistent days, a consistent time, I think that picks you up as well.
Lee, I've
go back to your point, though, Fergs.
Most underrated club. And the ones that the golf channels it recommends down the right hand side, there isn't many because I don't watch much. But it's a Me and My Golf from 11 months ago. It's a Golf Warehouse Atlanta from 11 years ago.
That's from what Golf Warehouse is because of one of your own videos.
Yeah,
that's what that.
I've never watched Me and My Golf. The average golfer.
It would be good if you could recommend, like, keeping it within the circle, the smaller people. So if Stu watched one of if somebody watched one of Stu's videos, it recommended me, which in turn then recommended Graham, who then went to Kareen, who then went to Jeff, and so on and so forth. And it would be really good if that happened.
Like go up in bands almost, because you can. There are people that, if you're looking at other genres, I can't take golf because we all know it so well. But when you look at other genres, sometimes I'll think to myself, well, let's have a look at somebody who's got 10,000 followers and see what because they're always really quite hungry, aren't they, to work their way up. So they put maximum input into their content. And I feel like it's quite nice to look at the lower levels, but you almost got to kind of go up in bands. In some genres, it's fine. It's hard to find somebody under 10,000. In golf, it's not.
When I get like 3/4 of the page down the recommended, then it goes Me and My Golf, then it goes Rick Shields, 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 Rick Shields.
Yeah.
So do you find that's where the place of like social media can take over it, where if your fan base translates from YouTube to social medias, whether it's Twitter or that, you can have a bit more sharing amongst them, which then goes to their followers.
Yeah, you've got to feed it, haven't you? But Rick's got 1,800 videos out there. So in some respects, I expect him to have a load of recommended ones on top of that. He's got the most popular channel. But, if somebody's done, like Graham was saying, if someone's done a video a day for bloody 5 years, then you're going to get recommended something from them, aren't you?
Yeah, you'd expect so.
The thing is, if you're getting 1 million views a video, YouTube wants to make money. Why would it recommend Graham that it makes no money out of?
Yeah, that's all it's all about is money, content and money, because they want people to stay on those videos for the advertising, aren't they?
Yeah.
The one that's bucked the trend that I can think of, and you probably know more about it than me, boys, is Liam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liam's the only one that's made it big that's not a professional golfer.
Yeah, he's done it purely through community.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you say about personality, like his channel is really not that based on himself, is it? It's all about all the other the other faces that other people go for. I mean, I've seen comments like, "Oh, can we have less of you doing 3L vlogs? Can we have OMP back on?
Someone
or can we
else
have, you know?" Yeah, so that is amazing because you'd never get that on Rick's channel. Oh, Rick, can you just not be in the next one? You know.
Liam's on now.
Please.
His twin brother's on.
Ooh.
Ian makes no airs and graces that he's Liam's twin brother.
Yeah,
He's Scottish.
it's me. I'm Scottish. Yeah, that's the only difference. I've been out with Liam, and he's a great guy. Honestly, he's a great guy to go out with. And it is great fun. It's great fun if you get out with him.
He's definitely one of the absolute top gentlemen of this kind of genre as well.
Definitely.
I mean, he will always reply to you, and he will always kind of give you. You could ask him pretty much anything.
And the good thing is with Liam as well is me and Lee have met him a few times, and he's exactly the same on the camera as he is off the camera, or just swears a bit more off it.
Yeah.
I think we're all like that though.
I'm not.
And I think he's one of the ones that actually can take the piss, and you just know it's just for fun. There's no sinisterness about it. It's literally just him having a bit of a laugh, you know.
But he's been given some grief by that top bloke, hasn't he?
I don't know about that. I think he almost went that way.
He kind of started to go in and then thought better of it and then come back out again.
Yeah, it was a vlog he did about American accent with an American that thing that talks or something. I can't remember. It was a while ago.
I can't
watch that top logo, don't we?
What?
Say that again.
We all watch that top logo.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a terrible guilty pleasure, isn't it? Because it is car crash TV. I'm not one of those ones that put something on the TV and it's so excruciating I can't watch it. You know, I just can't watch that stuff. But for some reason, you just think, what is he going to say next? It's like, oh no.
I'd never heard of him until he got shout outed by Rick Shields on Twitter.
Oh really? That just shows. I've always been recommended every single time on my feed he pops up.
Yeah, not on mine. No. Anyway, this is my show. We'll talk about me.
It's all about you.
Where's Oggy gone?
He said his delay was doing his head into his
jump. He's like shit in a field, Lee, isn't he? He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, pal.
Talking like that, best swing on YouTube.
I got a light. Sorry to go off subject very slightly.
Oh, you got one, have you?
Yeah. Very quickly.
So
there's my light.
I thought you were getting
Guess what it didn't come with?
a stand. Why didn't you get a round one?
Oh well,
I've just got a vision. He's going to have to now go on Amazon, buy one of them big chains, and just dangle it like a medallion.
I spoke to Lee Whitaker, full-time YouTuber, and he said that you can spot this one with the shadows look, so it's better.
Oh God, I would have gone that new aperture, cheapest chips,
mate.
That aperture 100, whatever it's called.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I just use a floor light in the car.
Right.
I was going to say your car's lit pretty well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a builder's floor lamp.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The difference is you can't see nothing else.
Yeah, literally, I'm blind. All I can see is the light, and that's why I'm always like that in the car.
Oh, lighting's massive. I mean, that's my latest thing. I just watch lighting video after lighting video. Isn't it funny? It drives you into insane things. It's lockdown. Yeah. Before I came on here, I was just like, I've just done about 2 hours worth of lighting tutorials and what to buy, what not to buy, you know. And I've convinced myself that I need like an $8,000 light. You know?
Yeah.
So the next thing we've got to touch on it. A question came from one of my friends, and it's. You ain't gonna live it down. Oh.
You're a twat.
Hey, I'm a lovable one at that though. So, with the courses being shut in the UK, I know at the moment Scotland's open 2 balls, but there is a probable chance with what's going on that might not happen for much longer.
We're getting battered with the snow and ice at the moment, mate. Some of the
not
courses
just
are
that,
struggling to
obviously,
get opened as well.
It's happened. It's come out today that we've got another variant. We're not going to dwell into that part of it. I don't want to. This is nothing to do with COVID. With all the golf clubs shutting, this is going to. God, Fergs, you're not in a horror movie. This is going to. This is going to split opinions. But while the courses are shut, should we still be paying for our membership, or should we get some kind of rebate and things like that? Even though there's government schemes in place for them to generate or get some money.
Question.
I don't think we should be paying our fees. As you says, Lee, the government can pay towards these businesses. After all, each golf course is a business. So there is grants available for these courses, including myself, to keep them running behind the scenes while we're not playing. So I would say no, I don't think we should pay our fees.
Well, I think that's a very fair shout.
Will we not just end up paying it though in taxes later on?
I think
we're
what
paying
would
taxes
happen.
anyway, aren't we? Regardless whether we pay for a golf club or we.
But I'm saying they're going to go up on the back of this because of all the payouts. So
That's what would happen. Your fees would go up next year or the year after. They'd put a massive joining fee on, which would deter new members. It doesn't affect me. I'm not paying. So
I've already paid mine. I paid mine in December for the start of this
I
year.
think that's a tricky one. I think the modern golf clubs, like if we take something like David Lloyd, which is the tennis company person, those guys, the whole thing's run on a monthly deal, and so it's kind of more manageable then because you can just stop people's monthly payments, which is what they do, and then when they go back, they start up again. I think with golf clubs, they allocate that money towards green stuff, etc., and then people that pay up front, then suddenly they've got to replenish that money back. I think that could be a headache. But for the clubs that are paying monthly, it's a lot of kind of like the corporate type places or resorts, if you say. I think it's so easy for them to just knock a percentage off that and say, well, let's do it pro rata or something. You've only played for 2 months, so let's.
Or if it's a full up scheme, go down to a monthly scheme to try and make it more affordable for your members.
Exactly, yeah.
Like if we look at last year and this year, there's potential out the 2 years, the 24 months, 6 to 7 months of that are just not going to be on a golf course. And we've paid, I don't know what everybody's green fees are. Mine are roughly about £1,000. That's a big chunk of money that I've spent that I've not done anything with. Even the first one, I know even car companies, the finance companies were going, no, it's okay, we've got you. Still use your car, but we'll put a hold on your finance payment until you can start again.
Yeah, Mercedes wouldn't either.
What?
Audi wouldn't.
if you took the finance through the dealer, they wouldn't do it. It was only finance companies.
Audi wouldn't, but my Aston Martin, they would.
Your Aston Martin?
Had too much red wine, didn't he?
That was one example. Even the mobile phone companies were offering people to have like a break. Mortgage companies, your house, not exactly going to boot you out for 3 months, while you don't pay for it.
Sorry, mate, that was different. The government, that was a wasn't a law, but they were told to get off you mortgage holidays. That was a directive from the government that they had to offer 3-month mortgage holiday.
Well,
my question about the golf courses is, and I've got no sympathy for golf courses that are on the edge because they take a lot of money off members, right? And they have to manage that money better. So if these golf courses are saying we can't stop membership because we rely on membership, well, you've been poorly run then. You're taking a lot of money off a lot of members. Very few golf courses are struggling for membership. And all these golf courses close. Well, listen, I've got no sympathy for them.
How much do you think it takes to run a golf course and a golf club, though?
Well, I know it's a lot of money.
And if they don't have the member level to fund that, that's where they get put in a tricky position.
I agree.
I think on the individual golf club, they have to assess whether or not they could maybe take a back for their members' sake, or like we said earlier, go from a full pay to a monthly scheme again to help fund it, or if they're in a position where it's like we've only got 300-400 members, but we would ideally to run at full capacity, we would need 1,000.
Tom,
They're
bars
at
on
Creek regardless.
They're not paying staff. They're all furloughed. The only
No,
staff,
that's not true.
the only staff they're paying.
Not all of
is-
them are though, mate.
No,
Oh, we've still
They
got
still
some
play-
greenkeepers working.
Fergs, they're still paying staff because they're not furloughed.
Why
Not
they?
all golf clubs are furloughed.
But they can use that scheme. It's available.
Yeah, you're
That
right.
pull
it is.
down, they've got a pull down from government. That money should be paying for my fees while I'm not there. Not me.
Yeah.
That money.
Mm.
That's what it's there for.
They can't put the staff on furlough, and the reason they can't put the staff on furlough is because when Lee goes back to his golf course or Kent goes back to his golf course, and the green staff ain't been working, they're going to kick off.
No, that's my point. The only staff that they need during the lockdown is green staff.
And they're the only staff that they're paying, mate.
Yeah, it is.
But
They're
my
the ones
golf
that
club
pay,
has
eh?
still got some guys working, the chef and a couple of others, and that's because they're trying to do a takeout service to try and keep funds coming in that way. So they're trying to work with not just the members but the town itself and saying that it's there for everybody. And obviously
think
it's
it's
up
a
to the
little bit-
members to try and promote it.
It's a little bit different for you, slightly, Tom. Is the fact? That
Oh yeah,
you
no, I'm way
still
out of
get
this
there
conversation.
and
I
play
understand
golf.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. Whereas
but
as
it's
we
not just
can't
that;
do-
it's that the membership where I'm at is not worth talking about because it pales in comparison to the rest of you.
I mean, going back to what Ian said before about the grants and things like that, I know somebody who has a used furniture company, and the first lockdown he got £27,500.
Pull down.
That's what he got given off the government.
Yeah, that's his pull down from government.
So
Yeah, my missus got a grant.
yeah, so it's brilliant. So why
It
are,
didn't last.
if you're getting 30 grand, let's call it 30 grand, it's easier, off the government for the golf club, should
Call
should
it
we
50 because
turn-
that's what it is.
Say again?
Call it 50 because that's what it is.
All right. See, I'm not a politician. I don't understand all this. I just
Yeah, I
like
think-
the controversial questions.
Grant was based on rates,
Right.
business rates.
Yeah,
So
rents and rates.
My missus' business rates is less than 15,000, so she got the smallest. She got £10,000 grant, which at the time seemed like a lot of money. But she was closed for 3.5 months, and that all went.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem that golf is facing though is because yes, during the first lockdown it was shut, no one could play golf up here as well, and obviously you boys have had another one, so you're into 3 and we're now into 2 up here in effect. But our courses are still open. Golf still opened up at some point to allow people to get some access to golf courses where they're permitting. Other industries like your arts, theatre, they're out, they're gone. So at some stage, the government is going to have to try and prioritize who needs the money the most and who they're going to directly try and help, because they can't help everyone. The country would be on its arse even more than it actually is now if they kept bailing out everybody.
Mm.
At some point, a hard decision has to be made. And if golf members can keep their clubs afloat by paying their memberships, the government will probably take that as a scapegoat and say, well, golf can handle itself.
I think that's what they're doing.
Golf courses
That's what
are
they've asked us to do.
They are entitled to the grants.
And it depends on each personal members how much that they put that is my golf membership everything to me. Do I need to keep it so that I can go back to golf when it comes back open, or can I just say I'll let it slide now? I'll maybe walk away from the game for a bit, or I'll just play council courses and go that way.
Can the golf courses claim? Are the golf courses entitled to these grants?
Well, they're a limited company, most of them, aren't they?
Yeah,
Mine's a
limited's
charity.
tricky. Mine was limited, and it was a pain in the ass to get the grant. It's the sole traders that are getting all the money.
What you got to remember is that a lot of the golf clubs are privately owned as well. They're owned by the members. They won't get the grants.
Yeah, I think you have to meet the membership halfway. I think that's the best way to go about this, to say, listen, we need X amount, or we need money to stay afloat. We need money to pay staff. We need money to maintain the course. Can we go 50% membership? That way, the members maintain membership. The money, to a certain extent, keeps rolling in. You can pay a certain amount of staff, and you can maintain a certain standard around the golf course.
I think that's what Paul Farnworth just basically said. He said that he pays his monthly fees via direct debit. Second time that the course has been closed, both payments have been taken, and he's happy as long as the greens the green staff are in work, actually making the golf course ready to be reopened again and doing work. Now,
That would be the worst case, wouldn't it? Is if the course shuts down, furloughs all its staff, and then let's say for talking sake, we're in this till the end of February. So 1st of March, golf courses are open again, but they're in no fit state to operate, and the course greenkeepers take a month to get it up and running again.
I know my golf course have just put some photographs out today. They've been doing some more bunkers, but put more bunkers in there, doing bunker work, groundwork kind of thing. So that obviously, I mean, I can't see us being out this till the end of March minimum. So we've got that time frame, which is for 3-4 payments. But a lot of it comes down to how much your monthly fee is as well.
What was the standard of the golf courses like when you came back in the summer? Because
Gleaming.
yeah, I heard a lot of good stories.
Mine was gleaming when I went back after the first lockdown.
Was yours not, Tom?
I don't want to be harsh to obviously where I play golf, but they've obviously got a big advantage really because of where they are and what's based. But we had some bunkers that had moss grass that was almost classed as first cut, second cut rough in the bunkers. So a lot of the bunkers ended up turning to GUR. They obviously prioritized the main course. Some of the others suffered for it. Eventually, about a month and a half in, we were back to where it should be.
What about your course, Kent?
One good, mate.
No. Were the staff furloughed at your gaff?
No, they were all there. They were only supposed to do essential work on the course. Well, to me, cutting tees, cutting greens, cutting fairways is essential work on a golf course. They should be done all the time. And it just wasn't being done.
Right.
Then when we came out, probably within 3 weeks, we were back to where we'd want to be.
Yeah. What about you, Stu? Where were you when the last one?
Yeah, we came out. The 2010 was absolutely immaculate. The greens were ridiculous, fast as anything, because they had very little traffic down there. Everything got cancelled. The other courses, I remember we came out and it got pretty wet, didn't it? Quite quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think all the courses down there struggle when it gets wet, so it gets very sort of unplayable anyway. But I mean, they've got a massive team down there, which is sort of irrelevant of money. They've got a nice big checkbook, so that they were able to basically take advantage of the situation and do everything they wanted to do. So I would say they fared pretty well, but obviously they're not a kind of a members club where you're scratching to try and make ends meet. And at that point, I think you furlough people and it's a bit of a struggle. But I think the big corporate courses actually really helped from not having 400 golfers a day blasting rain.
Yeah. What about you, Ian?
The course, my course, we didn't play out of bunkers all season, and they were terrible. They were down to, it looked like they were needing a cut rather than a rake. So we didn't play out of them all season, and I feel that affected people's handicaps as well. I don't know how many bunkers you hit per round, but if you hit 6 shots in a bunker per round, but you're getting a free drop out of it, that kind of, everybody's playing on a kind of false handicap all season, I thought. Because we weren't, and the reason why we didn't play out the bunkers was you weren't allowed to touch rakes.
Yeah.
Don't know if you could see that. That was one of ours.
That was, so they just made them GUR.
Obviously, if it's grass and water, then that's no good. But I think rake in place.
Thank you.
I played on most of the courses, and to be honest with you, you do get a perfect lie and all the rest of it, but that's only like a tour course anyway. I think that's what should have been done. But obviously, the rakes were out of action, weren't they? I think what we were doing is like using our foot and then placing it.
Yeah, ran a rake when I grew up playing golf.
When we played Woolly Park in the summer, you had to have, if you wanted to, you had the option. You could play in bunkers, but if you played in a bunker, you had to have your own rake, and they were sanitizing the rake and then give the group a rake.
Yeah, my course had
We
literally
didn't have a
shut the
rate.
bunkers off when we went back as well. There was no bunkers.
Was there
They were in
club
that big barrel, weren't they?
Yes.
you
Yeah, they
playing
were, yeah.
club- Were you playing club competitions in the second half of the summer?
No majors.
Yeah.
No majors. You were still playing your roll-up medals and so on, but there was no
Club
majors.
champs, anything like that?
No club champs. Club champs weren't on.
Fergs, we can still play medals now.
Can you?
Really?
Yeah, because we've got obviously a couple of courses to choose from. My club's decided that if it's an optional course medal, meaning you just organise your own tee time and play whatever course you choose, they'll still go ahead. But ones that are specific on a day, on specific course, they've been scrapped just now for
We didn't.
rearrangement.
Great question about should memberships continue while golf courses are closed. It's a really difficult one.
I said at the very beginning.
Morally, taking money off people during a financial crisis like this, when a lot of people haven't got an income, versus needing the money to maintain the golf course, is a really tough question.
I mean, there's a lot of people that have been heavily affected and lost jobs and so forth. So their golf club membership is not even a thought on their minds. You know, heart goes out to them kind of people that's happened to. I guess some of us are just fortunate that we are still in a position of work at the same time.
Do you think it will hurt the game at our level going forward?
Well, I was thinking about this earlier on, and I'm kind of thinking, are we going to find that majors, when the courses are open again, the major comp or major board comps, our golf clubs are all going to be a lot closer together than they were previously? Obviously, we've just gone through the world handicap system change. We're going through potentially 12 weeks of not playing golf. So we're all going to be affected because we've not been able to do what we would have done if we weren't under the restrictions. So, you know, they're going to take anything like that into account with your bad round. Let's say you go back and the first Saturday back is a competition.
I'll be back shanking for World 11.
I'll be with you, mate. I'll be with you.
But we've not had any in 2021, Lee, so we're winning.
At the minute, it's all win-win situation.
You know, the worrying thing for me is I don't see a time when I can't foresee a time when the Millennium Stadium's got 80,000 people in, or you've got 100,000 people at the Open. I don't know when that's going to be.
Yeah.
Or
I think everything's changed from here on. I think people are going to remember this. It's such a huge event, isn't it? It's not, you know, it's such a global thing as well. Amazing.
There'll be so many people out of this that now got the fear that they won't want to go into huge public mass areas that would have normally.
I gotta say, I would let's forget about the whole like COVID issue. I'm almost getting that way myself. I'm not sure whether I want to get squished into, 2,000 people, at the British Open. I mean, it just feels weird suddenly,
I think we'll be far more judgmental and suspicious of people as to you're standing, like you're saying, in a crowd of 100 people in a room not fit to host 80, and you'll start going, well, where have you been? What have you been doing? And it will put a lot of people off.
You do get judgmental. There is terms about that. You really, really do. Which I think this is where the whole. I mean, when we started back last time, I know we're going back to the last time again, but it was 2 balls only at the golf club. So I booked a tee time for me and Dad, and then overnight they changed it so that 3 people could play golf. We then got a 3rd person booked on
that space.
And I'm just like, do you know what? This is not what I want. Dad had obviously just come back from recovery from it. I cancelled mine and Dad's slots, and we're just like, I'm not bothered.
See, that was poorly handled. That should have been more of a case that if there was a single slot and it's a member of the same club as yourself, your number should have been put down that they could phone you up and speak to you directly and say, look, there's a space in your tee time. Can I play?
It was literally just after the government said, listen, everybody, you can go back out, you can play golf. It has to be within the same household or your bubble. You're not allowed to mix houses. And then overnight, it changed very quickly. And then it was 3 balls. And I'm like, oh, no. You know when you kind of wish you just jumped on it and went book for another.
That's what we do. We book that space because, like, Mike's had cancer, Dale's similar age to me, Ian's same age as me. Fuck him, I don't want to mix with people that I don't know. And we get cases where, like I had, oh yeah, I went to such and such with someone that's tested positive, tells us on the 10th hole. Fucking idiots. Do you not think it's dangerous?
I've just come back from 2 weeks in Greece and now it's quarantine from there.
I know Colston, who watches this channel, his golf club had social distancing as an option on their booking. So it was like he literally booked a tee time, and then because there was, let's say, 2 of them, he put social distancing in for the other 2. That was it. Tee time was full.
Ah, right. Okay, that makes sense. That's a good thing, that is. Yeah,
that was a good option.
I thought that was quite clever of the golf club to actually come up with that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And I think we might see that again when it starts getting introduced back. Might.
Do you think that the tee times when we were in COVID-1, when they went from a sort of 7-minute tee time we went to 12 minutes, do you think that was enough to have the social distancing thing? I thought it was. I thought it was great.
Ours was 10 minutes, and it was fine until you got to our 6th hole, which is a bottleneck at the best of times. So when you got there, it was still backing up a little bit.
Would you stay away from people, didn't you?
Hey?
You just stay away from people, though, don't
you? Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah.
What difference does the time make between tee times if you just don't?
Because habit is everyone congregates on the first tee, don't they?
Yeah, congregates at the pro shop.
That's where the gaps have been introduced, so people can't congregate. It's get there 5 minutes before your tee time, report to the pro shop, go to the tee, 10-minute gap. I think that's why the gaps were put into place. It's nothing to do with when you're on the golf course. It was around the pro shop in the first tee.
Yeah, but like you say, Graham, though, depending on what golf course it is you play, like you're saying at the 6th, is a tendency to bottleneck you up. And if you've got players that are in 2 balls and then you've got 3 balls out there, the 2 balls always going to catch. So then you've got the problem that they're on the green while you're on the tee, and that then can, like you say, that puts the social distancing at risk.
Then you've just got to be.
You've got to have your head screwed on, a bit savvy. I mean, one thing I did like, going back to what Ian said, I liked it at our golf club. It was 10-minute intervals. You weren't allowed to be on the tee any more than 5 minutes before. When our golf course then made it one way on, one way off the golf course, so you couldn't go around the clubhouse in different ways. There was a starter there. He booked you in, and at that point, he kind of stopped anybody coming forward. There was the 2-meter lines all along the path around where we needed to be, and you were not going off until that 10-minute had hit. The second it hit your tee time, on you go. Yeah, on you go.
But the weirdest thing is, at the same time, you could go into a coffee shop full of people and sit down and have a coffee. It's just mental.
Around your supermarket, get your weekly shop.
Yeah, it's just
you were pretty much getting the hole to yourself, which I thought was great. I mean, in Scotland, we were at 2 balls, and you could absolutely fly around the course, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, we noticed that.
Does that mean that members have less chance to play, though, if there's 2 balls?
Of course it does. But the golf club, I mean, I can only speak for my golf club. I can't speak for everybody else's. But my golf club said, right, if you play golf and you book a tee time on Monday and Tuesday, you can't then book for the rest of the week to give everybody else a chance. You can have a maximum of 2 bookings per week to give everybody a chance to play golf. And I was like, fair play.
Nah, not having that, Lee.
Well, that's your opinion, and that's fine.
No, you're right. It is my opinion. You're right. You're paying £1,200 a month to play twice a week.
Yeah, but folks, if these people are furloughed and you're working if we were working full time, you're not going to be playing golf 2 weeks every week. But if you were under the furlough scheme and every member of the club is at furlough,
I only play golf twice a week at the best of times as it is, so it's perfect.
I am being a bit tricky. I understand that, but if you're now dictating to members how often they can play and still taking full membership off them.
But that's I think
I think golf clubs have got a problem with membership with booking anyway, because at Whitley Bay you have to it was a nightmare trying to get a golf tin anytime during the week. It was an absolute nightmare, honestly. So I don't know what the rest of you are like. But now if golf clubs are saying, actually you're going to pay twice a week, well actually I'm only going to pay 30% of my membership then, because for 2/3 of the year I'm not playing.
I get what you're saying.
That's our big problem, is the amount of time we can't play because of weather. That's a big chunk. It bottlenecks everything forward, doesn't it?
Or then they put us on mats.
Mats and temporary greens.
Yeah.
At Whitley,
I hate mats.
Fantastic. What they do is you've got to take a mat out in the winter and play off it, a small mat, or you've got to play from the semi-rough if you hit in the fairway. If
That's exactly.
I play from semi.
In the summer.
Yeah,
I'll say one thing.
Go on.
If Kent's going to eat all these oranges tonight, I would like to clean his cage out tomorrow.
I'll send you a picture of it later, Ian.
Oh no!
Off, my dinner's ready.
Take care, bud.
See you later, mate.
Stay
Bye-bye,
safe.
bye-bye.
Cheers.
Well, I knew it was going to spark some kind of controversy, and it was right.
Would you rather play twice a week than not at all for the same membership?
Correct. But I only play 8 times a month as it stands. I think that was when I was like, that was my kind of I only play Saturday, Sunday with Dad. I don't play through the week as it is. So it gave the people that maybe weren't at work, they could play Monday to Friday between the hours of 6 in the morning and however time last tea time was. They were still trying to make it that everybody got an opportunity to at least have a game of golf.
Yeah.
And it's
I'm
hard.
pretty
If
sure the
you've
course
got-
my wife was at, they were saying that if you work Monday to Friday, they were going to try and suggest to those who were furloughed and could play during the week to play in the week and leave the weekend for the guys who would normally be off Saturday, Sunday.
That's what they've suggested at ours as well, Tom. But they're not taking notice of it.
Yeah, that's when you're putting the responsibility on the individual, and then you'll never get the right response there.
No.
That's why we're still having lockdowns now.
Correct. 100%. Send them all to jail.
No more politics. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Them.
It's fine because I literally was about to say we're going to steer this ship away from this topic. Has anybody got anything they want to talk about? Obviously, I've asked 3 things. Has anybody seen a product out there?
If we're allowed back out next year, what golf course have you not played that you want to play?
St Andrews.
St Andrews.
Superstar for a day, guys. I tell you, I played at St Andrews a few years back, and honestly, you are a superstar for the day, and I mean that. When I teed off it,
Not if you remember.
When I teed off at the first, there was 70, 80 people watching, and when I come up 18, because it was a really good day, there was. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. There was easily 400 people round about the greens, the tees,
Easy.
and
That's Shanksville for me.
well,
I'm 3 on the 18th green.
You're terrified to knife it through the green.
I striped one up the middle on 18, away over the road, and I put a pitching wedge to 10 feet on 18,
Oh,
and I got a round of applause.
3 whiffs.
So, Tom, would you say that those people would be golfers wanting to get on, or have been on, or just
No,
people wandering
it's
by?
everything, because obviously the town is quite popular for the university as well as the golf. People come from all over, whether it's golf related or not.
Right.
And if the weather is good, especially in the summer months, obviously it sounds like you got that, Ian. When it's out, if you've got a tee time from anywhere from like 9 o'clock till 3, 4 in the afternoon, it's the closest to a pro you will ever feel.
Yeah.
Because there will be, no exaggeration, 200 to 300 people in and around the 1st and 18th, and they will watch everyone tee off, whether they know anything about golf or not.
Yeah, sitting reading books and stuff.
Yeah, if you hit a good one, you'll get an applause. Coming in again on the 18th, they'll even watch the 17th green. Those ones tend to be more golf-related viewers.
Maybe
they
we
know
should go in the deep, dark winter.
Honestly,
Can I tell you a quick story?
Gosh,
When I did play,
Got it.
I was coming. I was quick. It'll be quick. I was coming down 16. Had a nice drive, and because it's a great day, the local police were out on the course and round about the course. And I stopped this copper and I asked him, "How much would it cost me to hire you to walk up the 18th fairway?" And he just looked at me, told me to fuck off. But how cool would that have been, walking up the 18th with all these people, and they'd all be saying, "Who's this guy coming? Who is this guy?" Honestly, guys, if you can get there, you're a superstar for the day. And it's all round the course, because you'll play a good shot, a good putt, and you'll get a small round of applause from somebody that's just out walking their dog. You're a superstar for the day.
But when you two come up, you'll get heckled by me every
Yeah,
shot.
I can live with that, mate. Because you'll get it back.
If we hit a good shot, though, can we get a round of applause?
Maybe.
No, we won't. Not to know then.
Yeah.
I've heard what your dad says to you, so.
Yeah, he's a wee bit savage.
What about you, Stu?
God, I don't know, actually. I would like to, I've not played Wentworth for many, many years. I'd like to try and, because it's getting even more exclusive, I'd like to try and get on there, I think.
For me this year, it's Kings Barnes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's far too expensive to justify that kind of money for a game of golf.
How much is it around?
It's about $290.
It's gone up to that now. It's about almost $330, I think.
Yeah, is it, Tom?
Yeah, it's gone up again.
That's scandalous money.
I think outside of Turnberry, I think it's the most expensive course in Scotland. But they they don't have memberships. They make all their money off of paying golfers.
Yeah.
And probably, as you know, it's supply and demand. You know, you just put your green fee up until you have the right sort of traffic on your course, and then sit it there. You know.
Well, the problem is it sits so highly in the 100 top golf courses, and it's spoken about so highly, even from the pros, with the connection to the Alfred Dunhill, that it knows it will always make it off of the Americans and the Japanese who like to come across and play. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's the same down your way, but the Americans don't want to play a golf course that isn't a couple £100 when they come over here.
Yeah, I guess if you Google anything, I was having this chat with, funny enough, Wales Golf recently, in the fact that there's absolutely a ton of fantastic golf courses that, because they just don't pop up on Google, people just go for the ones that do. And it's not always the best courses. I mean, sometimes it is, but sometimes it's just the ones with the name. Someone's played there, there's been an event played there, you know, or maybe they're very expensive, but it's just getting that somehow that little leg up, you know.
The guys that I was out from within St Andrews, a couple of guys from Texas and the US of A, I was asking them how much it was costing them for their trip, and without a blink of an eye, £10,000 for 10 days golf.
Oh, wow.
But were they going all around the country though, Ian?
Yeah. And
so they'd have been playing like Dornoch, Castle Stewart, all that lot, all around
down
there,
to Troon, Prestwick.
Yeah.
But without a blink of an eye, 10,000, and they were getting chauffeured everywhere to every hotel.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's a lot of money, eh?
Did they get on at Loch Lomond?
No, you wouldn't get on at Loch Lomond, I don't think.
Don't matter who we are.
Paul Gascoigne got chucked off there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, to get on.
Paul Gascoigne would get chucked off at Burnt Island, though.
Paul Gascoigne was a member there, and because he had played out with his stipulation of his season ticket, 10 games, 12 games a year.
Yeah.
Say he was on game number 14, the steward came out and told him to get off, and he had to get off.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Crazy, yeah.
There's a question for you, really, Stu, not me. How much is around at Celtic Manor?
It can be range from very cheap to very expensive. I mean, they do amazing deals in the hotel. I've heard people paying £110 for a night stay and 2 rounds of golf. I mean, that's just like
Wow.
That's on the Roman Road and the Montgomery though. That's not on
yeah,
the
but you can upgrade it for
Yeah,
a
you
bit.
can.
Yeah,
It's about
but-
60, 70 quid upgrade.
Yeah, but then you're still talking for 2 rounds of golf as well on pretty decent golf courses. But I think the Roman Road, God, I'm going to guess now, it's about 30 or 40 quid, probably 40 quid. But then when you get down to the 2010, it goes up to like 120, 130 for a round down there.
Sorry, lads, I'm going to have to head.
All right,
Take
Tom.
care, bud.
See you later, mate.
Catch you
And
later,
about,
boys.
and about another 130 for a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Who's your caddy day trip
Oh,
over a weekend?
Who's what?
who's your caddy podcast day trip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, God, it'd be carnage, wouldn't it?
Imagine.
It's the same up at Carnoustie. If you delve into the internet, as they say, you get a great deal overnight stay, 2 games for under 140 quid.
Yeah, the Balfour do it as well, don't they? In fact, most of the big resort courses do it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to fill rooms, aren't they? Because they just know that once they get you get there and you think, well, I'm going to eat and drink on resort because I don't want to go anywhere else. That's part of the experience.
Yeah.
And you just get absolutely pounded. But it's a 5-star hotel at Celtic, so I don't know any 5-star hotels in the country that are cheap. When you get in the bar,
No.
you just got to be ready for it and know what you're going there for. And if you're there drinking with the lads, just pick someone else. But if you want to go somewhere nice with a few guys, have a bottle of wine. It's very nice. Great golf courses and
I
stuff.
mean, what's the nearest town to Celtic Manor?
We've got Newport nearby, which is bit dodgy, but
Yeah.
Cardiff's not that far.
Cardiff's
away.
not too far, is it? No.
Yeah, so that's got everything there. But
No.
yeah, it's
Listen,
not.
listen, guys, I'm going to head. Sorry for butting in there. Thanks
all
for
right.
having me,
Problem,
Lee.
Ian. Thanks for
Take
joining
care,
us,
guys.
See you
Take
later.
care,
Ian.
bud.
See you later, guys.
Ta-ra.
See you in a bit.
The thing is, there's some great courses there. I think if you could do the deal in the hotel and play around at the course, and then play maybe Newport, which is nearby, or Saint Pierre, or there's loads of lovely courses really nearby that are cracking places.
Well, St. Pierre's and Marriott, so they'd do their own deals there, wouldn't they?
Newport, yeah, but you can get on that course fairly reasonably
Yeah.
as well. If
I think it's
if you
about
don't
50,
stay.
60 quid.
Yeah, I think most people. I think if you're going to go out and play golf, it's kind of between probably 30 and 70 quid, and it is most people are thinking. I'm quite happy
Yeah.
to pay that. If you're getting over your 70, 80 quid, you want it to be something pretty special, So that's the way I look at it. But generally, with this whole YouTube vibe and with the community on Twitter, if maybe you're a golf mate, you can nearly always find somebody who's a member, and then it's completely different,
That's a good thing about it. That's one of the good parts about Twitter. If you put it on there, you're having a game of golf on your own.
Yeah.
That's one of the nicest parts about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of it, yeah.
You
Toxic.
just take it all with a pinch of salt.
That's it, mate. That's absolutely it. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us on yet again another Friday Live at 5. We'll be back next week. But remember, tomorrow night, Kareen, and then Wednesday will be Graham with his ramblings.
And Sunday will be the 3 Putt podcast.
That one too. Forgot about that. It's that new. It's that fresh. But you all take care. Stay safe. Bye for now.
Ta-ra.
Oh.
All right. There we go. 23